Please welcome her. She is from the University of Abuja, and she's also a consultant. So please welcome her. She comes. I can't hear the hand. I can't hear the hand. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. So, incentives for private sector participation in irrigation, development, and management. So, for emphasis sake, everything is about agriculture. Everything is for us to be able to have food on our table for food security, to achieve food security. So, for an overview, agriculture still employs more than 60% of our workforce in Nigeria. There is need to involve technology in production to be able to enhance our production levels. And as of now, agriculture contributes 29% to 29.94% to the GDP of Nigeria, meaning we need to still improve agricultural production to be able to earn better foreign exchange, to be able to achieve and to be able to have economic impact of agriculture in our country as it contributes to the GDP of the country. So as such, there is need to boost agricultural production in Nigeria. Okay, now to irrigation. An overview of irrigation. It is the provision of water through pipes, ditches, furrows, kits. It is the provision of artificial water to supplement the rain-fed agriculture that we are used to, or that small-scale farmers are used to in the country. Okay, and there is need to involve innovations and technologies to improve food crop production so that we can achieve food security in the country. The importance of irrigation in crop production. One, it dilutes the salt in the soil, it saves water, it saves time. It enhances better rooting system of the crops. It reduces weed growth. Irrigation improves plant growth. It preserves soil nutrients because it prevents leaching from excessive water to the crops. And it allows for all-year farming, where you can have more than one cropping cycle in a year. Okay, now to the crux of the matter, which is private sector participation in the country. And private sector can be described as providing investment or facilitation by private individuals. As we know, most times it is government that oversees irrigation facilities in the country. Yet there are few private participation, but most of the investment from time is from government. So we are going to look at how we can motivate or incentives that can be provided to encourage private sector participation in irrigation production in the country. Okay, so private sector now could be from civil society organizations, could be community groups, could be NGOs, could be labor unions, indigenous groups, charitable organizations, faith-based organizations, among others. Even small-scale enterprises can venture into provision of irrigation in the country. Now, private sector participation in the country will foster faster development and inclusion in irrigation provision. And there is need for private sector to drive development in the irrigation subsector. So here are the approaches that can be adopted to boost private sector participation in Nigeria. The first one is it must be adapted a specific location, meaning wherever the irrigation facility is to be provided, it should be to the need of the people. So it should be specific, location specific. Then another approach is the disaggregation of the components of irrigation. This disaggregation implies breaking it into sub-components that private sector will be able to handle, not as a massive, huge project that is capital intensive and it might be difficult for them to manage and to handle it. Okay, then the third one says core analysis of irrigation infrastructure, organization structures, stakeholder participation, environmental situations, then socio-economic influences. Then the last one says to secure the buy-in of every stakeholder that is involved, the farmer, supplier, every stakeholder, the community leaders, every stakeholder must be carried along to ensure that there is adequate private participation in irrigation provision. Okay, here are the components, irrigation components, and the first one is irrigation site survey. So these are the components that can be broken down into, whereby private sector participation can be encouraged using these sub-components. So the first one is irrigation site survey. The second one is irrigation system plan design, service or access road construction, service of asset road maintenance, the construction of the dam itself, the maintenance of the dam, canal construction. So breaking everything down into sub-components in the irrigation sector. Now, to the incentives, ways we can motivate private sector participation in providing irrigation or in participating their participation in irrigation. The first one is allocation and private ownership of resources and components of irrigation facilities. Most of the times, although not even most of the times, in the country, natural resources are state controlled. Government controlled. So in this case, if the government will be able to allocate and seed resources to private individuals so that they can manage and control that particular water resource, so that it will bring about inclusion and management of the water resource. The second one says recognizing private goods in the context of irrigation development. The next slide talks about these private goods. Recognizing these private goods will enhance the participation of the private sector. Now they see it as a business, they see it as a source of income, which will enhance the attractiveness of irrigation as a business. And here the private goods include domestic water supply, industrial supply of water, generating electricity with the water, recreation and tourism attraction, and reservoirs for off-season or rainfall off-season. Okay, continuation of the incentives. The sixth one is to provide implementation and monitoring capacity for activities, meaning the government will leverage some or offset some of the cost implication of monitoring and implementation monitoring as well, so that there will be a sustainable project control. Then funding support for assistance of irrigation. There could be arrangements whereby there is support fund or percentage support fund for irrigation facility development. Then the last one is to provide certain forms of regulations and oversight to enhance private sector participation. So the takeaway from here is there is need to complement the efforts of government in irrigation, development and management. The participation of private sector should be enhanced and properly harnessed. Thank you so much.